The air was thick with anticipation, as if something ominous lurked just beyond the veil of darkness. There was a profound silence that brought with it an eerie sense of unease. In this silence, faint high-pitched ringing noises could be heard, like indiscernible whispers in the darkness, their ethereal voices carrying a chilling melody. These whispers were as faint as little rainbows made by a cloud of mist in the summer, shifting and disappearing with the slightest movement or change in vantage point. Most people disregarded these whispers, going about their day in indifference, as they were supposed to. But one person made the mistake of listening too closely. It was a summer evening in late July, when the sun lingered in the warm evenings, casting long shadows that seemed to dance in the fading light. The clouds were scarce in the blue sky, and children ran around outside, enjoying the freedom and sunlight. Among them was a 6-year-old girl named Tabitha, with her little blonde pigtails bouncing like swings on a playground. She always wore her pink sunglasses even indoors, claiming they helped her see hidden secrets. Her older brother Daniel was 16 at the time. He was tall and socially awkward, spending most of his time playing the piano and keeping a watchful eye on his sister. Their parents were often absent, working long hours and providing just the bare minimum for their children. But one day, their father surprised them by bringing home a baby grand piano. It was old and worn, with missing keys and a rickety appearance, but it held a certain allure. Daniel was thrilled to have a real piano to play, and Tabitha was enamored by it as well, even though she couldn't quite grasp how to play it. That night, as Daniel lay in bed, he heard the ringing for the first time. It was a subtle sound, like an echo of a distant bell, barely detectable. He tried to ignore it, believing it to be a psychological effect caused by his vivid imagination. But the ringing grew louder, persisting in its melancholic melody. Daniel couldn't help but listen closely, and as he did, he noticed a second pitch, harmonizing with the first. It was a haunting sound, one that filled him with a sense of unease, as if the very fabric of reality was being torn apart. Days turned into sleepless nights, and the ringing continued to torment Daniel. He tried various methods to drown out the sound, from pouring hydrogen peroxide in his ears to using earplugs, but nothing seemed to work. The ringing persisted, growing louder and more dissonant with each passing night. It was as if the whispers in the darkness were becoming more desperate, more insistent. One fateful night, as Daniel lay in bed, he heard the piano being played from downstairs. A shiver ran down his spine as he realized that he was the only one in the house. His heart racing, he crept out of his room, following the haunting melody that seemed to beckon him. As he descended the stairs, the ringing reached a crescendo, reverberating through the house like a symphony of terror. And there, in the dimly lit living room, he saw Tabitha seated at the piano, her delicate fingers gliding effortlessly across the keys. But something was off. Tabitha's head was twisted all the way around, her eyes covered by her pink sunglasses. Daniel's blood turned to ice as he realized that her eyes were completely pitch black, devoid of any trace of humanity. In a panic, Daniel ran downstairs to call the police, his footsteps echoing through the empty house. But before he could reach the phone, a series of knives and scissors were thrown at him, narrowly missing their mark. He managed to escape outside, but not before being injured by one of the knives, its sharp blade leaving a deep gash on his arm. As he lay on the cold ground, gasping for breath, he saw the piano man, a figure with missing flesh and bone, grinning at him with malevolent glee. The police arrived just in time, but the piano man disappeared into the shadows, leaving Daniel with a singular piano key as evidence of the nightmarish encounter. Days turned into weeks, and Daniel woke up in a hospital bed, his injuries being tended to by a police officer standing guard. He recounted the events to the police, but the case remained inconclusive. The piano was eventually moved to a secure location, and Tabitha survived her injuries. But both siblings continued to suffer from haunting nightmares about the piano man. A year later, Daniel decided to share his story as a warning to others. He believed that the piano man could be more powerful than just one piano, and that listening to the ringing could inadvertently make him stronger. He urged people to protect themselves by wearing earplugs or playing music to drown out the sound, for the whispers in the darkness could lead to a darkness that could not be escaped. The tale of the ringing serves as a chilling reminder to never listen to the whispers in the silence, for they may lead to a darkness that cannot be escaped. It is a cautionary tale that lingers in the depths of our minds, a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying things are the ones we cannot see or comprehend.